I really like Viscounts, especially at 2 players.
Hi-ya! Look at that handsome guy.
So Viscounts is my first experience in the West Kingdom trilogy, and I gotta say, I'm impressed. Listen, there's a lot going on in this game. I don't have time to cover it all, but I can give you an overview of some of the mechanics. We'll get to this castle here in a minute. This game uses the coolest looking meeple I've ever seen, and you're going to be driving it around the board clockwise. Depending on where you choose to land, you will trade for resources, build buildings, or if you're on the inside of the circle, pen manuscripts and send people up the castle. These are the 4 primary ways to score victory points. The game also uses a deck building mechanic. You'll start with schlubs and you'll hire better ones as you go. Each turn you lay a new person into your tableau and scoot the other ones down. This means that on any given turn, you only really have the abilities of whatever cards happen to be face up at the time. Look for synergy between the cards showing and where you're going to place your meeple. Your board has all these unbuilt buildings, and as you put them out into the world, you gain passive abilities. These are obviously really powerful effects, but they also help mitigate the fact that you're not always going to have the right villager facing up. Depending on the types of characters you choose to draft to your deck, it's going to push you either to a little more virtuous or a little more corrupt. Many of the actions you take are going to move these discs, and wherever they meet can be good or bad for you and your opponents. Another really cool idea, the game's length is determined by these 2 stacks. There are deeds and there are debts. The game is hugely impacted by which one runs out first and how the other players have positioned themselves. But you don't just accumulate them, you need to flip them over. You need to cancel your debts and enhance your deeds. The castle's like its own game entirely. You're going to be putting people on this first lowest tier, and as you fill it out, it'll bump people up to the next tier. There's a whole sub-game about pushing your opponents off and then bumping your guys up. The one at the top gets the most points.
Not to say I didn't expect greatness, but I think Viscounts is deceptively good. It comes in a small box. It only costs right around the neighborhood of $40, and it is jam-packed.
And I'm mainly talking about mechanics. This game has so much going on with interwoven systems. It's an incredible buy for $40.
I also think it might be best at 2 players.
This means the game moves at a really good clip, and you get tons of depth and strategy. This is going to keep your focus for a couple hours, and frankly, that's kind of rare at a lot of 2-player games.
I'm a fan. I think this game is really good.